And now, Alcoa presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Skamania County, Washington. A 37 and 59-year-old man were found dead of exposure in Pinchot National Forest. The two men were searching for Sasquatch! Definitely not a Jew!
All right, Mayhem's brought some news, and we'll get to it.
Got some news. Good old Twitter beef. Simone Biles calls Riley Gaines sick over criticism of transgender athletes. Yeah, Biles, the most decorated Olympic gymnast in history, called the former college athlete sick and a sore loser on a post on X on Friday night.
Yeah, I was following this too. I think Simone may have lost this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird thing, which is people are not protesting against transgendered people or transgendered kids. Nobody I know cares about transgendered people. I'm trying to think of Bruce's whatever.
Caitlyn.
Nobody I know cares about Caitlyn Jenner. Does anyone care about Caitlyn Jenner? Caitlyn Jenner's basically a Republican and hangs out in the Republican circles, and nobody has two thoughts about Caitlyn Jenner because they don't care because it's their business.
But if she ran the 400, we'd have something to say.
Then we would have something to say. So it's not a stance against transgendered people. It's a stance against biological men winning in female sports. That's all it is. I know everything is a fucking hate crime to you guys, but that's all anyone I know. Now, maybe there's a small subset of people that think, it's an abomination against God's will or whatever, but that's not who the mainstream is. The mainstream wants to see, there's the Olympics. The Olympics has male boxing and it has female boxing. And so what we would like is to watch females and the best females in the world box, and then the one who wins the gold gets her hand held up. But we don't want to see James Quick Tillis. Remember James Quick Tillis?
No, I know that name, but I never.
We don't want to see 80s heavyweight James Quick Tillis put on a skirt and go down and whoop up in the ladies department. That's not what we want, and that's all we're saying. If James Quick Tillis wants to wear a skirt and high heels all day, every day, no one has any thoughts about it. But if he would like to compete,
put on some boxing boots.
If we put on some boxing boots, yeah, there he is. There's James. Show me James in his prime with his shirt off. I mean, James.
I do know this guy.
James had a good, had a solid career, lots of wins. But no, we don't want to see him box the ladies.
It seems like Simone is infected by this inclusive energy where everybody needs a place, and she even says in her tweet that making sports inclusive or creating a new. But how are you going to find that many girls, boys, to play softball?
Well, okay. The first thing, and this is how you know it's not real, there's no controversy going the other direction. If a lady finds herself to be a man and would like to go compete with the boys, nobody has anything to say about it.
Jacked on steroids. Just a monstrosity of a woman.
Listen, if Chaz Bono wanted to join the rugby team, and actually, I've seen pictures of Chaz Bono. Could probably be pretty effective in that scrum. But if Chaz Bono wants to join the rugby team, then Chaz can do it. And no one has anything to say about it because we don't think he has an unfair advantage over the other fellas. We think it's the opposite. So Simone Biles says, you're truly sick. And by the way, this is always the husband. She's married to an NFL guy, Simone Biles. She's probably like a 6'4" outside linebacker. He should have taken her fucking phone and just set it on the kitchen counter where she couldn't get it. Thank you. She says, you're truly sick. She's saying this all right. First thing, okay, look, first off, when a biological boy starts 5 games for the girls' softball team and goes 5-0, gives up 2 runs in 5 games with an ERA of like .1, you saying I don't think is fair to the ladies on the other team doesn't make you sick. It makes you the opposite of sick. Whatever it is, it's not your sick individual. I mean, maybe you're controversial. Maybe you have thoughts, but you're not, go back to the tweet. You're not truly sick as someone who kidnaps runaway prostitutes and is making a skin suit out of them. That's what sick is. You thinking boys shouldn't start on the mound against girls is nowhere near that. You can disagree with it. It may be different than what you think, but it does not encroach on territory of you're truly sick. So you basically, Simone, you lost it in the first 3 words. All of this campaigning because you lost a race, straight up sore loser. Well, she raced a guy that was 6'3" and a male who took. By the way, Simone Biles should understand how many hours in the gym or how many hours in the pool it takes starting at age 6 to get to that level.
Knows, yeah.
She knows of when you're competing for the NCAA championship. At some point, you're now 21 and you've got 15 years of fucking in the pool at 5 a.m. Like, you understand. And to have a guy take that away, that makes you a sore loser.
It seems like she hasn't thought it through.
She hasn't thought it through.
She just, on the surface, she wants to be nice to all trans people because she's friends with them. That I get it, but you can't compete together.
You should be. All right, so she says you're a sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating new avenues. She's not Bowie Kuhn.
But this is just crazy. This is real crazy to make us care about women's softball. I know.
Well, look, she doesn't. Riley Gaines doesn't have to look for ways to uplift the trans community. She just has to say, when a dude strikes out a bunch of chicks, it's not fair to the other chicks. She doesn't have to invent a new sport or a new category.
Right. He's throwing 98 mile per hour heaters underhand.
Right. Maybe a transgender category in all sports. Again, there's not going to be enough.
I would watch that league.
I would watch
100%.
it too.
Yeah.
But here's basically what all Americans need to know. It's like there are certain things that are kind of put upon you, and the things that are kind of put upon you, I believe in. Like when you go to and you walk across the intersection here. I've lived here my whole life. When I was a kid, the curb went all the way around the corner. Now there's a ramp, basically, sloped. So you can then go in your wheelchair across the street, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go, okay. And part of me goes, well, fuck that guy. I don't want to spend that money, make himself a ramp, let him figure it out himself. But he didn't ask to be put in the wheelchair. Maybe he's born with cerebral palsy or something. He's got something. ADA. All right. Okay, fine. Then we need to take care of those people because they were born that way. But if your choice is to get in a wheelchair, then I'm not going to cry for you if there's certain shit you don't get to do.
Yeah.
And you may want to become a woman or a man when you're a junior in high school, and that's fine. It's between you and your God. Go figure it out. But it does mean that it can be limiting. You know, like you can go, here's how society works. I like a full beard and I like long ass hair. I like long hair and a full beard. Okay. I also like to work the food lines in the cafeterias. Okay. We have to put this net on your beard and your hair. And then you go, I don't want to do that, man. It's like, well, you don't have to work at the cafeteria or you can shave your head. If you decide to become a woman when you're 15 and a half, it may limit you on certain things. You may not get to play on this team or that team. Like, you may have to make a choice. Not everyone gets to do everything. You made a choice, which is you wanted to live your life as a woman. That's fine. But your softball career is over. I'm fine with that. I'm fine. All right. So anyway, then I think...
yeah, it went back and forth here a little bit.
Forth. Now, then Riley Gaines clapped back. This is actually so disappointing. I agree. It's not my job or the job of any woman to figure out how to include men in our spaces. Very good. You can uplift men stealing championships in women's sports with your platform. You can uplift men?
Yeah, little...
with your platform.
With your platform.
With you can do this. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was behind the camera arm there. Men don't belong in women's sports, and I say that with my full chest, which still has its titties. I added that. And then Simone Biles had to keep coming back. Bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male.
I'm just seeing her at home with like a little thimble of wine, you know what I mean, mixing it around and just rage tweeting back and forth with Riley Gaines.
Yeah. She drank a cap full of Chardonnay and is out of her mind. I saw Riley Gaines. I've met Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines is 5'5.5". And 120
and here comes
pounds.
Riley Gaines.
So I don't...
back, clapping back, and the subtle hint at body shaming. Please, I'm 5'5". Laugh emoji, laugh emoji, laugh emoji, laugh emoji.
Well, also, there's plenty of women in the UFC that are 5'9", and there's plenty of dudes in the UFC that are 5'9".
Yeah, I got a couple of killers at 5'5".
I still think the dude would win that cage fight against
100%.
against the lady over there. But all right. Anyway, this is what we do. But I really feel like Simone Biles is sort of indicative of the crazy woke left and their arguments, which is...
If you watch TikTok all day, sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off, but this makes perfect sense. I know girls with the same mentality that, oh, everyone needs to be included. Everyone's the same, everyone. But it's like softball. It's a game and it's a sport, and men have an advantage. Just sorry.
Well, it's also weird with sports, too, because all I wanted to do was play sports. That's all I wanted to do. It's the only thing I was good at. Life was going to be the toil and trouble and horrible. And at some point, sports spat me out. They just went, no more for you. You can't do it. You're not good enough
But don't you think
do
it
this.
was helpful for your mental health and to make you feel good to, do sports? That's the only argument I have in the other direction that makes sense. It's like, oh, this little trans girl, she's a boy, but in her body, and she has the mental capacity, like she's like a woman in her mind, and then she wants to play sports. So that makes me feel kind of empathetic for their situation. But I still don't care about women's softball.
Yeah. Speaking of men and women and softball, I do remember it like it was yesterday when me and Jimmy were playing in a game in Chicago, like sports and rock and jock celebrity.
Yeah. I remember those days, yeah.
And Dave Winfield. He was former Yankee. I think Dave Winfield got, I guess the word, drafted in the NFL and stuff too. Dave Winfield.
Just a beast athlete.
Dave Winfield was old school 6'6", 240 dude playing baseball.
Oh, wow.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Dave Winfield's a big dude. And he was like one of these guys, well, he could have played forward in the NBA, could have played tight end in the NFL, or he could have played baseball. In which case, why not just be the biggest guy playing baseball rather than a regular-sized guy playing football in the NBA? But Dave was playing, and the little girl from The Bachelor was pitching, the first season of Bachelor. So like a little blonde, petite, I can't remember her name, but season one of The Bachelor is a little petite, little blonde who married a fireman in Colorado, as I recall. And we're going to the game, and I remember saying to Jimmy, I go, man, if Dave Winfield really connects with one,
crushes one,
and does a fucking comebacker to the mound, he's going to fucking kill her. He's going to kill her. And then Jimmy, this is I would say this is indicative of my entire life arguing with Jimmy. I have the word Blue Jays written on my screen, but Dave Winfield was a Yankee. May have ended up on the Blue Jays. I don't think so, but I don't know why it says Blue Jays on my screen. But anyway, why does it say Blue Jays on my screen? or don't just write Blue Jays is what I'm saying.
He won the series with the Blue Jays.
All right, but I don't. If it just says the word Blue Jays, I just don't know. But they won the World Series. Dave Winfield was with the Yankees when they won the World Series against the Blue Jays. Okay. Again, I could have known that, but I don't. So we're driving. I go, well, he's going to be connected with her and he's going to kill her. And then Jimmy says, these jocks, they're just having fun. They just choke up on the bat. I go, there's 30,000 people in that stadium.
Yeah, hi.
And when that ball comes coming in,
muscle memory takes over, but
trying to crush that ball.
It's like having to do celebrity boxing. I'm gonna.
Yeah, right. And I was like, I mean, what was the dimensions of Dave Winfield back in the day? I mean, Aaron knows Aaron Judge and stuff, but he was like Aaron Judge 30 years before Aaron Judge was playing. I mean, he was the biggest, baddest dude. He played, looked like an NFL tight end. I said, he's gonna kill that woman. He's gonna choke up and take a fun swing, poke at it or whatever. I said, okay. I was playing left field. Dave Winfield comes up to bat. I'm just standing there in left field. He crushes a ball. You know when they crush it so hard you don't even move as an outfielder? You just literally you don't even move.
It's
I
gone.
just looked up and just into the night, just whistled as it went past me. And I was like, oh, he ain't swinging? Then 6'6", 220. That was his fucking rookie season. Probably 6'6", 240 by the time he got out of the league.
Yeah.
That's a big baseball dude. And then Jim McMahon. We're in Chicago, and he's Jim McMahon of the Bears, And I'm playing left field, and he gets up there, and he attempts to crush one, but he gets under it just a little bit. And I'm playing left field, and it's drifting toward the stands, but I can it's not in play. It's a foul ball, but it's way up into the night sky with the lights on and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like drifting over there, and everybody in the bleachers, everyone in the foul station there, the seats down there, all fucking yelling at me the entire time that ball's in the air. Don't miss it out. And I realized, I played 1,000 softball games, but I never had a wall of people screaming at me while I was going to take a ball away from their beloved Jim McMahon, which I did. I could play. So I caught that ball. Let's see. Trista. That's the first bet. Little blonde girl. Yeah. It was like the only time. It's like the only time a reality TV thing actually worked out. I think she married the dude. The dude was a fireman. They lived in Colorado.
Season one.
The one.
Last time it worked out.
The one that worked out. Winfield was a 12-time All-Star, by the way. So he had some pop. Had a little pop in that bat.
And luckily, Trista was not decapitated.
All right. Yeah, but he would have killed her. Yeah. What else we got?
Speaking
They're still married. She was the first bachelor.
That's great. That's
it's been
beautiful.
22 years. She's the only story, and maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe it's that now they're all sort of camera-hungry whores or just doing it to get camera time. Like, it's attracting a new breed, you know?
that's what happens naturally.
I think she did it sort of normally. Like, hey, there's this show.
When a show starts to get popular, because Bully Beatdown Season 1 was just like a regular, nobody knew, but by 2, 3, everybody was really putting on a face.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched the phenomenon unfold.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of killing, there's a New England serial killer feared stoked by a 13th body found in a small town. Yeah,
13th.
Yes, the body of Adriana Suazo, 21, was found by a passerby on June 13th in the woods of Milton, Massachusetts, a suburb 8 miles outside of Boston. But these bodies have been piling up all around that area.
Do we all have the same super sad? I have 3 now sad serial killer thoughts.
All right.
One is whoever gets killed by the serial killer, I'm always like, well, what were they up to? Ooh. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of, well, he's focusing on prostitutes or runaways or something.
I had the same thought, so I looked in. I tried to look in, but there's not a lot of reporting on this yet. The women range in a lot of different ages. That was the thing that shocked me. I had that same thought. Maybe he was picking up. Well, the other thing is,
it's still a horrible thought any way you look at it.
I know.
No one's supposed to die, whether they're hitchhiking or prostitutes or hanging out at truck stops. But I know you try to quell it a little.
So this is the youngest one, I guess. The 35-year-old Paige Fannin. There's another 58-year-old Susan Wormser, Denise Leary, 59, and then 56-year-old Michelle Romano.
Just random.
There's random ages, and it's not sure how these all are connected exactly yet. So
the other sad thought I have is times are so weird right now with like what's going on in the Middle East and what's going on here and all that kind of stuff that serial killer sounds sort of quaint. Like it almost sounds like my childhood, you know? Like, I used to think that way about pickpockets. When serial killers were running around, I was going, remember they had pickpockets and that was a thing? And then now it sounds so quaint.
It's a bygone era. Now with the proliferation of cameras, DNA evidence, it's a whole different ballgame now. It's harder to be a serial killer these days. I'll tell you, it's hard out there.
You know, I still look at it as like almost a throwback crime.
Completely,
you know?
Yeah. They say that the most are usually truck drivers. That's
truck
like the
because
latest.
They cover a lot of ground.
Exactly right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the Middle East, Israel intercepts a Gaza-bound aid ship detaining Greta Thunberg and other prominent activists.
You know, my thing with the Greta Thunbergs of the world, also, I'll say something else that sounds bizarre, but it's funny when you can see women at an age. You know, when I first saw Greta Thunberg, she was like 16.
Yeah.
It's like, she could go one of two directions in the looks department. Mm. Do you guys know what I'm talking about when you see a woman like at a transitional age?
Yes.
It's not 35. It's like 15 or 16. You go, she could be a fucking hot model when she's 20. Or she might go the other direction.
Frumpy cat lady.
Right. But it's kind of the first my first look at her, I was like, she could go one of two directions. I think she kind of went the sad direction. She didn't go the bikini model direction.
She looks like Raggedy Ann.
Right. But so be it. Now, here's the thing about Greta Thunberg. And I would say this about all of those people. I'd be this way with all of them, and then I would believe them and not fucking hate their guts. If I said to them, look, so where are you on climate? Well, I'm a climate activist. I believe in it I believe that the carbon release and the fossil fuels and whatever. And then I went, oh, okay, so you're for nuclear power then, right? No, I'm totally against it.
All right, then,
okay. And then where do you come down on Israel and Palestine? Well, of course, I'm with Palestine because Israel's, conducting ethnic cleansing. Okay. And then COVID. You like the lockdowns and the mandatory? Yeah. Big fan of Fauci? Yeah. And you're an expert on, what, ivermectin doesn't work? Yeah, no. And no one's illegal? Right. And the border? Okay. And tax the rich? Okay, wait a minute. I thought you were a climate activist. Why do I know where you come down on every motherfucking story? How come everyone knew if someone said Greta Thunberg, yeah, she's a climate activist. Yeah, what's that have to do with Israel? And what's that have to do with Palestine? Zero. Okay. How do we all know where you're going to come down on this? Because you guys come down on the exact same place on the wrong side of every fucking story. That's the side you're on.
Yeah, it looks like she's branching out.
I don't even know if you know what you're doing at this point, is what I'm saying.
Well, I think that they were attempting to deliver aid to Gaza, where after more than 600 days of war, an 11-week Israeli blockade of all aid has pushed the enclave's 2.1 million people deeper into a hunger crisis.
And she was going to bring some
She's going to bring
s'mores
some snacks
over there?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's going to film herself doing it the whole time?
That's the whole deal. They also, I know if you guys got the footage of her giving like a pre-released tape, if she does get captured, which she did, detained, I should say. She pre-released I don't know, some type of hostage video for herself.
We should get, here's the video I would watch over the hostage video.
Yeah, okay.
I would watch Greta Thunberg's dad on 3 beers. And I just go, what do you think you're doing? He goes, that little bitch, fuck her. She's embarrassing the good name of Thunberg. He probably fucking hates it.
Solid accent.
Solid Mr. Tudball accent. That little bitch ain't fit to tie my shoes. Now give me another Jarlsberg. Grolsch. Give me another Grolsch. I don't know. Was Grolsch the beer, Dawson, that had the resealable top?
I believe so, yes. The one with the
I like
top.
where your head's at, but I've never cracked a beer, got halfway into it, and went, you know what? I think I hit my limit.
Well, as far as I remember, Grolsch wasn't easy going down, so you may have to take a break in between.
I've never had a beer where I was like, this is too much beer for this guy.
Well, you never had a Grolsch where you had to brush your teeth mid-beer.
Yeah. Yeah, Grolsch. Yeah. Not around anymore, that Grolsch, right? Those weird bottle seals with that weird coat hanger bend and the snap thing. Those things must have been around from pirate days.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
To like 1977 and now gone.
Yeah.
You can still get Grolsch beer.
I can? Okay. Let's get a case of Grolsch going. All right, let's hear what Greta has to say. How dare you? How dare you?
I am from Sweden. My name is Greta Thunberg and I am from Sweden. If you see this video, we have been intercepted and kidnapped in international waters by the Israeli occupational forces or forces that support Israel. I urge all my friends, family and comrades to put pressure on the Swedish government to release me and the others as soon as possible.
Okay.
All right.
How'd she say her last name?
Thunberg.
See if you can find Mr. Tudball from the Carol Burnett show. I think we'll get a feel for Greta's dad.
What about the Swedish chef from Muppets?
You need Mr. I think Mr. Tudball.
Yeah.
Who? All right, I'll tell you that. But let me hear her last name one more time.
My name is Greta Thunberg and I...
Oh, so she's not even close to Greta either, right? Her Greta isn't a Greta. Let's see.
My name is Greta Thunberg and I'm Sweden.
Greta Thunberg.
It's not Greta, it's
Greta Thunberg.
Wordy-gurdy douchey.
Mr. Tudball is from Carol Burnett.
No.
Yeah.
I remember this. Yeah.
You remember Mr.
Vaguely,
Tudball?
Yeah, vaguely.
Let's see if Mr. Tudball is here. Let's see if
You got the... You ain't the got the... Well, I'm afraid that you'd have to take more than 150 words a minute there on the shorthand, because I talk so rapidly. That's why you'd have to do that. I'm sorry.
That's Greta Thunberg's dad. That's also Tim Conway.
Boy, am I sorry. I tell you.
All right, got a little Tudball. I don't know. Is he? Who's Mr. Tudball supposed to be then? All right. We got one more story there?
Yeah, we definitely do. Hey, Mel Gibson begins the mammoth task of rebuilding his $14.5 million Malibu mansion after it was destroyed by the wildfires.
I got to tell you, I toured that whole place the other day just on my own. I just went down there over the weekend because the PCH is back open and blah, blah, blah. There's no building. Man, there is
Nothing?
zero.
Really?
No.
What?
Not even close.
It's been forever. Not one concrete truck, nothing.
There is many of the lots have been cleared. It's been 5 months, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at 5 months. Many of the lots have been cleared. Not every lot has been cleared, but many of the lots have been cleared. Up on my hill, the stuff's hanging off the side of the hill. They got the long reach arm excavator to get out there, pulled out. Stuff's cleared. Stuff's cleared on PCH. Stuff is still not cleared, but stuff is cleared. But there is 0.0 building. There is no fucking plywood. There's no 2x4s. I mean, I know what a job site looks like when they're building. I mean, I don't want to that sounds stupid, but what I'm saying is like when you start a job, traditionally, if you're doing a build, the first thing you get is a lumber drop. And the lumber drop, it's kind of interesting. You guys may not know how this works. I don't know. But you call up Terry Lumber or Anawalt Lumber, whatever it is, and you go, we need 100 10-foot 2x6s and 5 glulam beams 4x14 and 25 sheets of plywood and 150 2x4s or whatever. And it shows up on a flatbed truck. You've seen them driving around. And they don't unload the truck
Just leave
stick by
it.
stick. They do a drop.
Yeah.
The thing tilts back. It tilts back, and they pull forward, and you put some kickers on the ground so it doesn't sit in the wet.
Yeah.
You know, you take some scrap 4x4 and put it down so it sits up off the ground. The guy pulls it back and just pulls forward. It's called a drop. It's a lumber drop.
I didn't...
And it's bound together by that great metal band, that weird black thin metal band. You got to cut it with the tin snips, you know, and then it pops open.
Yeah.
And now you got enough lumber for the next, 3 months. You can build away with what you got. I've not seen a lumber drop on any property. I've not seen any new foundation or concrete stuff. I mean, there's the existing stuff, which is burnt out. I know what new concrete looks like, or new forms. You have to form it. You have to excavate, you have to form, you have to pour the concrete, you have to put the rebar. There is nothing.
And this is in Malibu, California, where you got all the money in the world to do this.
There is nothing. There's zero building that I could see driving the full length of Malibu. I did not go crawl up in the hills of the Palisades, but I'm telling you, 5 months on, I'm seeing almost zero. I'm seeing zero building. I understand there's a picture of a house that's being built.
Well, this is the burnt out raised foundation of Mel Gibson's house. Apparently, they are doing some type of building here, but it's not major. Yeah.
No, what they did is they cleared it out.
Yeah.
And then what the Army Corps of Engineers does is they clear it out, and then they put those bales of like the net stocking of hay and whatever to stop runoff and erosion, and then they spray the top of the soil with what you're looking at, that green stuff. That's sprayed on to stop it from eroding when it rains.
Oh, I see.
So the Army Corps puts the I don't know what, picture a round pillow that's 50 feet long around the thing with the hay in it to get the water. They put a stake in it. Then they spray this aqua whatever on there to stop the shit from liquefying and running off. And then they oftentimes put a fence around it too. And I saw all that, but I saw zero building, and I saw no cement trucks and no lumber trucks and no should be seeing caisson rigs up the wazoo. You should be seeing those big giant auger bit trucks that are drilling caissons. Didn't see any of those, just dump trucks.
Yeah, well,
so all they're doing is pulling shit out.
You should know this, that by the end of March, only four permits have been approved for homeowners wanting to rebuild, a number that was quickly criticized by local leaders, despite Mayor Karen Bass hailing it as a major milestone in the city's recovery.
Yeah, Karen Bass has no fucking idea what she's doing. She's in way over her head. She's never She doesn't build stuff. She tears stuff down. She destroys shit. She burns shit. She doesn't build. She doesn't know how to build. So she has no idea what's going on. She doesn't know if it's good or bad, and she doesn't really care. I don't think at the end of the day, any city officials really give a shit. I don't know. The screen says turbo mulch, but it's the green stuff that's sprayed on. But when we met with our Army Corps of Engineers guys, I don't think he called it turbo.
Well,
mulch.
that sounds like
else.
the brand name, and this guy used generic.
Yeah. But either way, Mel's got his compound up there. I thought Mel had a church up there too, but I don't know. I'm not sure where it went. You have a Greta Thunberg mashup?
Yeah, we never use this for some
never
reason,
used-
but I know it just
right.
got heated, and it's nice if we can calm down with one of these every now and then.
Okay.
My message is that we'll be watching you.
Sean Denver?
How dare you?
You fill up my senses.
This is all
Like a
wrong.
night in a forest.
I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school.
Like the mountains in springtime.
How dare you?
Like a walk in the rain.
You all come to us young people for hope.
Like a storm in the desert.
How dare you?
Like a sleepy blue ocean.
You have stolen my dreams with your empty words.
Fill up my senses.
How dare you?
Come fill me again.
How dare you?
Come, let me love
And yet,
you.
I'm one of the lucky ones.
Let me give my life to you.
Entire ecosystems are
Let
collapsing.
me drown in your laughter.
How dare you?
Let me die in your arms.
People are suffering. People are dying.
Let me lay down
How dare you?
beside you.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction. And all you can talk about is money.
Come, let me love you.
How dare you?
Come love me again.
How dare you? How dare you pretend that this can be solved with just business as usual and some technical solutions? That remaining CO2 budget will be entirely gone within less than 8.5 years. And you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is. You are failing us, but the young people are starting to understand your betrayal.
Let me give my life to you.
How dare you? You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency. How dare you? How dare you continue to look away?
Love my
But no matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Then you would be evil, and that I refuse to believe. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say we will never forgive you. We will not let you get away with this.
like a sleepy blue ocean.
Right here, right now, is where we draw the line.
Fill up my senses.
The world is waking up,
Come fill me again.
and change is coming whether you like it or not. How dare you? Thank you.
Wow. That's a masterpiece, Dawson.
Just reminded me, I used to date a Swedish nanny with the wonky eye.
Oh, really?
I should call her.
Yeah, I think you should reinvestigate that.
Yeah.
I
How we got there, I don't know.
but she's in.
She said, "How dare you?" And I remember that phrase.
I
It
am
triggered.
I am so enamored with people who get indignant, especially about themselves. It's weird. Like I don't even know when people like. Sometimes I've said to people like, "Hey, you want to go do this or do that?" And they go, "No, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do that." And I go, "Wow, I can't believe you just said that." Like it's weird when people go, "I'm not doing that." I don't. I would say to people like, "I prefer to do this," or "I don't want to do that," but I've never go, "I'm not going. I'm not doing that." Like even that's like too much. But how dare you? Like at 16, when I was 16, I was like, "I don't know, whatever you want. Well, you're the boss. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing."
Righteous indignation.
Oh man. Yeah, she's a delight. But all the, whether it's her or fucking Al Gore or whomever, does any of this ever come true under their watch? Where is it? And why doesn't that bother them? John Edwards or whoever. It's like it never comes to fruition.
Wait, what you mean?
Okay, we're talking about Malibu, right?
Yeah.
They're talking about the sea rising for the last 40 years. If you go to one of the burnt out houses that's along PCH, it goes along the ocean's the exact same place as it was on that pylon that's in the fucking dirt in the sand in front as it was in 1951 when they sunk it in there. So what's going on? Like, we're going to be consumed by the ocean, but this house was built in 1949.
In that mashup, you may have heard Greta Thunberg say in 8 years.
Yeah, you're right.
She made that speech 8 years ago.
There you go. Well, there you go, Greta. But anyway, you're off to the next catastrophe. All right. I'm going to be in Salt Lake City doing a bunch of shows this weekend, Friday and Saturday. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday at Wise Guys. Come on out. The gang's going to all be there, and we'll say hi. Go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Be in Vegas at Kimmel's Club on the 19th, doing a couple of shows as well. Mayhem, anything to plug for you?
Oh, man, mayhemnow.com. You can buy a sweet shirt. I got one for you, Ace. Don't worry.
Ooh, I was worried for a minute. So, till next time, Adam, Greta, for Mayhem, Sam, mahalo.